Yeah, so what's important that I picked up on there is that the World Economic Forum is this unelected, unaccountable body headed by Klaus Schwab. He was just near Australia, he was in Indonesia, speaking to elected members like he's the boss of them. And the way that he is surreptitiously controlling politics and the economy is through what's called the ESG standard. The ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. So these are non-financial factors that are supposed to be reported and complied with in order for a company to be, worthy of investment. So this scares everybody. This is why the woke agenda, it's now revealed. Why is the woke agenda spreading through all of the major companies in America, even though Americans don't believe in cancel culture and wokeism? Because they're afraid they're going to lose investors, the major investors, like guys like BlackRock. The company BlackRock is run by Larry Fink. It's been called the fourth arm of fourth branch of the U.S. government because it holds $10 trillion worth of assets. It's bigger than many nation states. Well, these guys will say, we're not going to invest our trillions of dollars in your company if you don't comply with ESG. So we don't care about profitability. You're making money for the shareholders. We care about whether you ideologically align with environmentalism, their definition of it, not God's definition, their social values, so basically immorality, not God's morality, and governance is just a very euphemistic way of saying they don't want white males there. Governance means anybody but white males. So you can imagine all the spectrum that they want. So they'll say a company is successful, not because it's saving the planet, reducing gas emission. So you start to see, hey, wait a second, it's not scientific, it's not objective, this is completely subjective, and this is ideological. A great illustration of how ESG is totally misapplied, or in their view, applied correctly, but in a religious way, in an ideological way, is Elon Musk is probably the greatest guy that's using green energy, promoting electric vehicles. He was the hero of the left. And as soon as he bought Twitter and said, I'm going to allow people to speak freely, they took Tesla off of the ESG, of the list of ESG approved companies. I mean, imagine that. You're the one making the best-selling electric vehicles, and you don't qualify. So guess what? It's a scam. It's not scientific. It's not about saving the planet. It's about bringing everybody to believe the same thing. And that's the definition of being religious, isn't it? It's not based on objective facts. It's based on those people's ideology. So SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, knows this. He's the one that said, if you just pay lip service to ESG, to wokeism, to climate change, you're going to make billions of dollars. You're going to get away with murder and scams and fraud. So it is very religious. It's very religious, and it leads to financial control. So you're controlling all of these big companies to say the same thing, to say basically anti-human, anti-God, anti-Christ ideology. And they're buying people up. They're saying, well, we're going to incentivize you to believe the same thing and promote these ideologies because we'll only invest in ESG compliant companies. This is the one thing that really anybody who gets elected to office needs to look at this and say, it's got to get out of our state. And I think Ron DeSantis is a real smart, wise leader in this area. I think he's already put this on his radar, and they're not going to allow this woke ESG requirements in Florida. So that's what we need to replicate, and we need to see happen in more states. And if it happens in America, then eventually it will be dismantled in countries like ours, like Australia.